right through
Wow.
the snow, and it just pushes all of the snow out to the side.
It's a lawnmower for snow. Yeah, I absolutely love that.
Usually hits fat.
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is 5 winter objects Lawrence, aka Lost in the Pond, has only ever encountered since he's been in America. And we did the summer version of this the other day. I really enjoyed it. You guys seem to really enjoy it as well. You told me to check out the winter objects. And you know what? Just check out all Lawrence's videos. So I'm definitely going to do that. Over time, we will get through a majority of Lawrence's videos, as long as he still doesn't mind reacting to it. He's been okay with me so far, so hopefully he continues to be. He is an absolute legend, so I don't doubt that he will be okay with it. But as always, I'm a British guy who lives in Britain. Lawrence has lived outside of Britain for over 10 years now, so he's a little bit outdated on this. I know he does his research, and he's got all the experience of him living in England before that. But it's not fully up to date, potentially. So I basically say my opinion from someone who lives in Britain so much. And again, there'll be some things which he knows about England and Britain, which I don't. That's absolutely fine. And the whole idea that in the US, the cultures are completely different in different states, the exact same for the UK, like I always say. Me and Lawrence grew up in different areas, so we will have different answers, different words and stuff like that for each object. Even though it's a much smaller scale than the US, we definitely will have all that. So hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. I'd really appreciate it, guys. If you want to see more reactions like this, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button as well, you absolute legends. Let's try and hit 300 likes for another Lost in the Pond reaction video. And yeah, let's see what the 5 winter objects, which apparently are only in America according to Lawrence, or at least what he's encountered in America, is. Let's go.
In England, I've never known weather that would sort of necessitate this kind of headgear. There's wind, but there's not sort of wind that brings along with it a wind chill of -1 billion.
Oh, wow. I do want to say as well, by the way, I've got no leg to stand on when it comes to weather. I'm a Brit. I moan about the weather all the time, but after doing all these weather reactions of your mental, like, ridiculously high temperatures, ridiculously cold temperatures, we're just in the middle, and I can't complain one bit. So you won't hear me complaining about the weather in this video, I'll tell you that.
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to the weather.
Okay.
Of course, the weather in both countries at this time of year gets a little cold, and we as human beings have to survive.
Yep.
In order to do so, we don't just shut ourselves in our houses and stick the heating on high. I mean, we do that.
I was going to say, I do that.
But there are other ways in which we survive, and that is through the use of winter objects. Growing up in England, I will tell you now, there were certain winter objects with which I was familiar, you know, sledges.
Sledges, 100%. Is he going to bring up what, hot water bottles? I'll see. That's what you do when you're cold in bed. You don't have the heating on too high. Hot water in a little hot water bowl. I don't know if you've ever seen them. You can potentially put them in teddies as well, so it's not too hot on your skin. And I imagine he's going to bring that up. He has before.
Instead of sleds or toboggans, did the same thing pretty much, and just thin woolen gloves and snowballs. They're not an object. That's just snow congealed. But after moving to America, I realized there were actually a plethora of different objects I'd never encountered before because I never needed them. And so what we're going to do today is we are going to go down 1 to 5, actually no, in reverse order, 5 to 1, and look at the very objects about which I'm speaking. Now, before we do get underway here, just a quick disclaimer and a recap. The disclaimer being that some of these objects may well turn up in England. It's just that I didn't have cause to use them back in England, and I don't think that I was an outlier in that regard, whereas the objects I'm about to talk about are actually quite commonplace here in the United States as opposed to in England. Okay, so that's the disclaimer, and the reminder is when I first moved to the United States, I moved to the American Midwest. Very specifically, I moved to the middle of Indiana. I've since moved on to Chicago. Of course, in both places and in much of the northern United States, snow and cold weather is absolutely paramount. That's probably not the right word. There's an abundance.
There's a lot of it, yeah.
And we'll be looking at that as compared to the UK in a future video. But without further ado, let's take a look at 5 winter objects I didn't use until I moved to America.
Let's see what we got.
Well, this is an interesting one. So shovels absolutely exist in the United States.
I was going to say, I was like, what are you on about? Shovels. I get what he's going to say. I know what he's going to say. We don't get enough snow a lot of the time to block our cars in, to have to shovel our drives too much. The odd occasion, that's what he's going to say. I imagine you use it more common in America because you get a lot more snow. But still, snow shovels are in the UK, so I'm a little bit off with this one, Lawrence. I know you're saying not used much, but they do get used at times. So I'm a little bit off with this one.
them. It's just that they're usually used for shoveling dirt. And because of the sort of rare event that is snow, you won't usually find somebody purchasing what is referred to as a snow shovel that's sold as a snow shovel. Because there are differences between a snow shovel and a regular shovel.
I guess.
It's usually size, because everything is bigger in America, and snow shovels are no different. And of course, snow itself is no different, at least here in the north. It was in my first winter here. My brother-in-law showed me how to use one. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. That's what it says on the tin.
He showed me how to use a shovel. Come on, Lords, man. You're better than that.
Grab it by the handle and whatever that is, the neck, and do that and throw it. It's a lot of hard labour. Nobody tells me that going in. And my brother-in-law didn't tell me that going in, and I left with cramp in my arm. Actually, it would have been very useful if you'd have told me about the next entry on this list, you brother.
Snowblower.
Unfortunately, just like the shovel, I don't have one of those handy to show you because I rent these days. But they are absolutely brilliant. And again, I've only used one once, but it was the absolute coolest machine, literally, because it was filled with snow. But the thing is about it, it's not filled with snow. I mean, it is temporarily, but what you do is you just push it along like this, right through the snow, and it just pushes all of the snow out to the side.
It's a lawnmower for snow. Yeah, I absolutely love that.
Usually hits family members. Brother-in-laws specifically. I did apologise at the time, and I still haven't spoken to him since. But they are absolutely amazing. We just don't have cause to use them much in the UK. You
Never
may
seen
see
one before.
members of the council using them, but not actual human beings. So that was quite a revelation to realise that a lot of people had snowblowers just hanging around in their sheds.
Wow.
And the sheds were covered in snow too, so you had to use the snow shovel just to get into them, to get to the snowblower. It was like, it
what a nightmare.
The purpose entirely until you did the garden. Both of these come in handy when you're just trying to get through the snow and to your actual car.
Yeah.
We experienced this for about 8 years when we owned a car while living in Indiana. And I will tell you, one of the worst jobs during winter is shoveling the snow away from the vehicle just so you can get out. Sometimes it gets 2 feet deep and, you can't even see your car, much less get
Wow.
in. And then once you've cleared all that away, you've still got to contend with the ice on the windscreens. And you can either turn on the car, heat it all the way up and just sit for an hour until it all melts. That's not happening. Or something else you could do if you were in a rush, which was me most days because I slept through my alarm.
Yeah, that's a point I want to bring up. We're about to find out what he could normally do. But in the US, right, if we get a ridiculous amount of snow, potentially if we ever got that much, we don't get that much what he's talking about, work would understand if you're late because it's a one-off. They just appreciate you've gone to the effort of digging your car out to get in, because a lot of people just say, I can't get in, my car's stuck. Because it doesn't happen that often. Are your work lenient when this happens? But is it because it's a common thing, you expect it to get up the hour earlier and dig it out, or the 2 hours earlier? Let me know in the comments. But it definitely really intrigues me, because in the UK, very lenient, just because it's rare. But if it's not rare, do they just expect you to know about it and do it? Let me know, guys.
Is you could scrape all of that ice off with what is known as an ice scraper.
Yep. Oh, we have these in the UK.
Again, I think they have these in the UK.
Yes.
But they're only used really in very, very extreme circumstances.
No, again, Lawrence, man, you're letting me down on this one. Again, I absolutely love the content. No dig on you, you're a legend. But I feel like every car comes with an ice scraper, and especially nowadays, because it doesn't have to snow. It just has to be a bit icy, and it's for ease. A little bit of ice, just scrape it off. So much quicker than having to wait. I launched it wrong a bit. I feel like every single car has them nowadays.
This is something that you will do multiple times every single winter up here in the Midwest of the United States. I know, I did it, and I got a return to that arm cramp that I got from the shovel. It is just one long winter of arm cramp. I will say this, though. There is something quite pleasing about that. If you're wearing the right gloves and it's not too cold out, never do the ice scraping without gloves, because you'll regret it 5 minutes after getting into the car.
I can imagine.
But if you've got gloves on and you're doing that, it is quite cathartic. So long as you don't break the windscreen. Sometimes it feels like you are doing that because you're scraping off basically ice, which can look and sound like glass. And then once you've scraped off all the ice, right, and there's just sort of bits of powdery ice on the windscreen and bits of snow, the best thing then to do is just open the door and slam it, and you just cause this sort of little avalanche.
I've never seen that. That's pretty cool, though.
So long as you don't cause an actual avalanche. If you're living in the mountains, just be careful. I mentioned that...
Oh, yeah, because you just slamming your door is just going to bring an actual avalanche down. Imagine.
Gloves. It is very important to have good gloves, but equally important while you're wading through all of this snow is our fourth entry.
Okay. Winter boots.
I truly didn't believe how bad it was going to get in the Midwest until I actually saw it with my own eyes. So after doing all of the shoveling or the snow blowing or the scraping of the ice, I realized that I'd made the mistake of wearing sneakers in the snow the whole time.
Bad mistake.
Don't do that, because there's a number of reasons. Firstly, the snow gets inside your shoe. You don't want that. And also, it's just cold and wet all round. So you need to be able to keep your feet warm. I think that's almost the most important thing, because those are the things that are going into the actual snow. So to do that, you have to have one of these. Well, not one. You need two.
Okay.
Really silly if you only had one.
I was wondering where this is going to go down. Yeah, we don't really have them, to be honest. We've got wellies. I think you guys know what wellies are. I imagine you have wellies, but potentially another name for it. But not boots per se for the winter.
It's a boot, but look at it. It's bigger than me, and I have to get inside this. It is, you do feel protected. I feel like a foot soldier when I'm wearing this.
I can imagine.
I do have another one just for the record. It's right here. Sorry, they've not been cleaned since last winter. I'll get round to that. Put one of them down because they are cumbersome and heavy. Arm cramp again. Arm cramp is the thing that happens in winter. But they are absolutely amazing, and they do keep your feet warm. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And if you're ever set upon by an enemy, just kick them between the legs with this, and they'll never come after you again. It's really, though, two boots. It's this black boot right there that you see, but inside it is this sort of... I'm going to pull it out. Look at that. It looks like a wrestling boot. I've never noticed that before. Again, if somebody comes at you, just pretend you are Ric Flair. Put that down. They're really good. I love them. I've had these 2 years. Absolutely need them in Chicago, especially if you're cycling in Chicago. That's nuts. Who does that in the snow? I did last winter. I'm a brave soul. I wouldn't be quite as brave, though, if I didn't have the final entry on this list.
Okay. Face shield.
So this is a face shield, and you know what?
That just looks like a balaclava to me. Is that not what a balaclava is? And yes, we have balaclavas in the UK. Not really warm for winter purposes. I know some people do it, but it's not a general thing. Is this a Well, we'll find out if it's a general thing.
Its important job is that not only does it sort of keep snow off you and things like that, the important thing that it does is it keeps the cold wind, the harsh wind of Chicago off you. It also keeps those people that come at you off you. They'll think you're a Bond baddie and call MI6 or something. I don't know why I'm wearing this. Sorry if it looks terrifying. I'll take it down because there's no wind in here. I don't really need it. And actually, it's making it very hard to breathe. Isn't good when you're trying to present a video. But this is one of the best acquisitions I ever made as an athlete here in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Not an athlete. I ride to work.
Better than nothing.
I wouldn't be seen dead wearing this in England. There'd be no reason to wear this in England. You don't want to wear one of these while it's raining. That's for sure, because it would just get soaked all round. In England, I've never known weather that would sort of necessitate this kind of headgear. There's wind, but there's not sort of wind that brings along with it a wind chill of -1 billion.
I'd agree with that, to be fair.
Scenario in which you would need it. It doesn't quite go with the tweed hat. But I absolutely love it on me. My wife loves it on me.
I know.
What do you mean you don't? That's it for this episode. Thank you for joining.
Well, I love it on Lords. I think it looks awesome. And again, just touching upon that, it's weird. Again, it's subjective where you live, isn't it? If you've never experienced the cold, harsh winters, I don't really know about it in the US, you assume the coldest it gets in the UK is the coldest you're going to be. So potentially some people would want it, and I can completely see why, but it's definitely not common. Again, I had a few different opinions to launch in this video, but that's absolutely fine. We both live different lives. We both lived in different areas, and we're obviously going to have different opinions. And Lawrence is still a legend. I really enjoyed this video. Anyway, it's added some talking points in there. I've asked you guys for a couple of comments on some certain things. If you want to do it, let me know. I'd be in the comments replying. I don't get to every single one here because there's starting to get quite a few you legends. Like, I can't get to every single one, but I'm trying my best. You've got to remember, I do work 8 hours, 5:30. Let me know on my mic as well today. I've messed around with the settings, and I feel like this is the one. I know you guys said there were no audio issues yesterday, which is a couple hours ago from me today. But I feel like this is the one. I may be completely wrong. Let me know again in the comments. If you don't want to let me in the comments, let me know on Discord or Twitter. Just because I saw a comment the other day saying I only ask for comment stuff because I want to fool you guys into engaging with the video. Well, no. If you want to just hit me up on Twitter, go for it. If you want to hit me up on Discord, go for it. I interact with you guys as much as possible, I really do, and that is the reason I ask these questions. But anyway, enough of that. Hit that like button, I would really appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button as well. Let's try and hit 300 likes on this video, like we said before. If we don't do it, it's not the end of the world, guys. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.